Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Awaken Chaos Era video. Yes, I'm still playing this game, and that's why I kind of wanted to do this little update video to reaffirm that, yes, I am still doing this, and I was meaning to do some videos on this, but got sidetracked due to recent events on my channel. Some of you might have seen this, and I want to get back to covering this at least once or twice a week, because I'm really having the time of my life playing this game, and it's really refreshing compared to some other mobile games, and even Marvel Strike Force right now. And if you haven't checked out my first impressions video, then I definitely recommend that. I have a small Ace playlist right now, and I'm hoping to get some more videos out soon. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the newest character to come to the game, who you'll find out pretty shortly. Also talk about the recently ended Mythic Campaign event, which was the first ever global launch character event, which was awesome. And I just kind of want to do a bit of a review of where I'm at in the game, because I've just passed my first month, probably closer to 5 or 6 weeks now at this point, but still going pretty strong and enjoying this game immensely. And just for the record, this is not a sponsored video. I do just genuinely love playing this game. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Okay, and before we really get started with the video, I want to show you guys this cutscene. This is the introduction of one of the newest characters to come to the game, which has a really interesting name, and I want to share this with you. So let's take a watch. Oh no, it blocks, my head blocks the way. Oh no. Let me move my head. Where's my head? Let's move it. Okay. Alright, gonna move my head around. Oh my god. The legendary Boolean. It's an anagram of my name. It's my name. I saw this and I was like, holy crap. This is hilarious. And so I really want this character.
Awaken Chaos Era.
There we go. So apparently that's me in Awaken Chaos Era form. So this is Boolean. She is a wood legendary champion that has a brand new debuff, by the way, called Induction, I believe it is, and has like a robot. So pretty cool. Let's move myself back over to the side because this is where I normally am. But I thought it was pretty funny nonetheless. So I'm going to close that down. We're going to jump into the game here because I have that here. The Rogue Artificer Boolean, that's how she is being called. Don't let my electro power shock you. Now, there's only one downside to this, unfortunately, is that, well, her actual draw rates are not very good. Okay, so this offer comes up. This is like $50 US, and it gets you 30 advanced summoning crystals. Frankly, that's like not even close to being able to get her. So that is the downside, is that very likely that most of us are not going to get her. And the reason why that is basically how they decided to do that with this character. And that's largely, and I'm going to turn I really like the music in this game. So we're going to play with some of the music on. And the fact is this, so we're 2 days in already, and she had, I believe, 6.5 days, or 7 days maybe anyways, as a 300% increased chance to summon via the regular advanced summon banner. The problem is that, well, the chances are still pretty slim. Now, my head's in the way, there's, in the bottom left corner here, the summon details. And so you basically have a 1% chance to summon a legendary character, okay? And that's fine, right? But the fact is that 300% increase, is not a huge increase for her, because then it's a 1% to get a legendary at all. There is a pity system that exists in this game if you didn't check out my beginner video, my first impressions video. But what that comes down to is, because there's about 30-something characters here in the legendary hero list that you can pull, means that each individual hero maybe has like a 3% chance, right? So if you're tripling that for Boolean, it's about a 10% chance that if you pull a legendary, it's going to be her. So you could say that from a 1%, it's another 10% of that 1%, which is actually 0.1%. So in other words, it's like a 1 in 1,000 chance that you're actually going to pull her from any given advanced summon ticket, which is incredibly slim. So even though there's that 300% increase, it doesn't really do much for her, unfortunately. So what I'm going to be doing is, as much as I really want her, because she's a character after basically my own name, probably unlikely. Even the whaliest of people, I think, are very unlikely to get this. So I'm going to have to take a pass, and I'm going to be saving up for probably the next campaign event character, if that's the case. So I mentioned that there was Geralt. He was on my thumbnail as well, if you saw that. And the way that they did the summons for him was that he had his own separate banner. And it was similar to the advanced summon banner, but if you had actually pulled a legendary, there was a 50% chance that it was him. So it was significantly higher, and if you didn't pull him on the first time, the second legendary that you pulled on that banner would be him. So there was some sort of guarantee that it would be him, whereas for this, it's kind of dumb luck, to be honest. And I want to share those two characters with you. You can find them in the index at the bottom of the screen. I think, yeah, it's kind of hard to see because my frame blocks out some of this. There's a button here called Index, and you can see all of the characters available there. For Boolean, she's a free city character, so you can kind of see her here. Looks pretty cool, but sadly, I don't think I'm probably going to get her, which is really unfortunate. But she has this brand new ability called Induction, and once again, I hate that my head is actually where a lot of this kit stuff is, but you can see that Induction actually says deals damage based on caster's attack upon taking damage. Now, I don't know very many people who... I don't know anyone that has her, but what it sounds like to me is that essentially if you have characters with multi-hit attacks, curse sets, which I know if you're new to the game you won't understand, but it's extra bonus attacks that they're going to take basically additional damage. And this lasts for 2 turns, I believe, when she applies this on her ultimate here. So, deals 120% damage to all enemies and applies Induction for 2 turns. So, very interesting new debuff. I'd be interested to see how that is going forward, whether or not there's going to be additional characters that have that. And, you know, if any of you who either play the game or who are new to my channel or have this character, please let me know in the comments down below if she's good, you know, because I'd be very curious to know about that. So, moving on from that, we do have the Geralt character. Now, he's from the Crisis faction, and I did pull him. So this is Geralt here. Now, he reminds me of a little bit of a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat type character. He has this kind of handsy form, and he has like multiple hands, which is pretty cool. He turns into that when his rage hits cap. And yeah, I haven't kind of invested in him too much right now, but there's a reason for that, as I've been waiting for the next milestone event, which is a promotion milestone event to come soon, and I think I will be upgrading him soon. So he's a very strong single target fire DPS, but the reason why I'm bringing this all up is because this event that he had for his character event was very, very cool. It has own campaign, and basically there was like, I think it was 10 nodes, and for every node there was 3 different levels, and the first level was like a story level, so that was fairly easy that most players could get through, and then the second level on each node was a challenge level, so it was actually challenging because I didn't finish all of them. I think I finished all but 2 or 3 of the challenge levels, and that's just because I just didn't have the right roster, the right characters to kind of clear through it. And yeah, it was kind of hard. You know, I only have 4 level 60 characters, so I definitely have some ways to go to improve on this, but I had a lot of fun doing this. It was a big blast. It was a 2-week-long event, and the third stage after you beat the challenge level, you have to beat the challenge level to unlock this, was kind of like a multi-battle, easier level to farm, where you would farm event currency, and that event currency you could use to buy up stuff in a store. It had its own event store, and you could buy a wide range of stuff from like 4 to 5 star pumpkins to gear. You know, some 6-star gear was in there, and there was a lot of great rewards in here that made this event really, really good. So kudos to Awaken Chaos Era for actually putting out a really good event. And as far as other games that I played, I think this was a really good one. How frequently are we going to actually see this, though? I don't know. You know, but the event was great. A lot of resources. Like, you could actually, in these multi-battles from the third stage, you could farm a crap ton of jellies, XP jellies for your account, which was really good. And that's what I ended up doing. So, if you take a look at my roster, that actually, I have a crap ton. If I can find a character that I can level, well, this Geralt there. And I have 4.2 million jellies. Now, this time, like a week and a half ago, I had like almost nothing. Yeah, I know my head's in the way. Let's put it back over here. So before this time, I had like basically nothing, you know, but now I have 4.2 million jellies. And the reason why I haven't spent any of these yet is largely because upcoming soon, if you're playing the game actively, there is an event coming up, an event milestone called the Hero Promotion. Now, this is actually going to start tonight, Saturday tonight, when that happens. And what I really love about this game is that they have an event calendar. Now, this is the last event that's in the calendar, I think, because it's rolling over to April soon, so they're going to have to update this. But they have been giving giving us a pretty good idea of past events. You can kind of see the Geralt's sign-in event, and then the Geralt's, actually, I think that's part of the Geralt event was in this. But yeah, it was really good, and I enjoy the fact that they do have us. They tell us, you know, what's coming up as far as milestone events go and things like that. So you can kind of see how there's different colors, and those relate to kind of like how good the milestones are or how long they last, those kinds of things as well. So right now there's an energy spending milestone, which is pretty easy to clear. I've already cleared it at this point, but yeah, it was 2,000 energy over the course of 3 or 4 days, I think. So this allowed us to get a lot of good stuff. And so I'm really enjoying the fact that they actually respect your time in Awaken Chaos Era versus games like Marvel Strike Force, where, you know, I have to log in at certain times of the day, and I don't like that. Whereas in Awaken Chaos Era, I can find, other than the store reset, which I admittedly haven't done this morning, you know, I normally just buy everything, by the way, because I have so much gold that it doesn't really matter for me at this point. So I just go, yep, buy. But the point is that I can sign in like once a day to do my dailies, and sometimes I buy 6-star gear as well. So, and this kind of stuff. But I can log in once per day, kind of do what I need to do in this game, and then, you know, that's okay. Right? Because, like, it doesn't really make a huge difference. You know, you don't have energy timers, for example, like you do in Marvel Strike Force, that makes you log in at certain times to collect that. So you get a once per day 120 energy refresh, and a lot of the things that you can do on your own time, which is super great. Now, as far as the progress that I've made on my account more broadly, well, I finally made it to Mythic Campaign, which is really good. So for those of you who aren't super familiar with the map here, basically it's the same map, but there's 3 difficulties. You get common, and you know what? For this, I should probably just record these videos from the right-hand side because it seems that's the most important. So you have right here, you have common, hard, and mythic. Common is like the base difficulty, and that's where you go through the whole game first. You get to chapter 10, and you finish chapter 10, and then it unlocks the whole thing over again on hard mode. And the whole reason to do this is because you get different rewards. You get glyph farming to do, different drops at the higher difficulties. But realistically, you want to beat hard mode chapter 10. That takes you to Mythic, and that takes you to where I am right now, and I'm at chapter 7. I probably could push on a little bit further. I've just been kind of lazy about that. But that's kind of the progress that I have in the campaign. And then as far as bosses go, I've actually done quite a bit in my time in this game. The No Man's Land, this is essentially ability material farming. So you can see this. I know my frame block, I really need to adjust this, and my apologies, everyone. So you have the different tabs here on the bottom. The second tab across from the left is No Man's Land. This is ability material farming. These are just bosses to do that. Arcane Dominator. These are bosses to farm gear. You can kind of see the 3 different sets that each one of them drops. One of the most important ones is Queen of Tides. This drops 3 different gear sets. The Cursed set, the Revival set, and I forget what the other one is, actually. The Warrior set, sorry, yeah, of course. And so I'm only able to auto stage 9 for this, and I'm using a very weird setup, to be honest. Like, if I wanted to do this, it takes me about 6 minutes per run, but the team that I'm using is not typical, at least in terms of my character Rickard. He is a wood-based dwarf that does true damage, or, you know, true damage means that it doesn't get blocked by any other stats. So this is the team that I'm using. But I know it's not the team for everyone. Now, what's really great about these bosses also is that you can kind of check the clearance formation. What are the popular teams that people are using to get these things done? And they kind of tell you that, which is really cool. So if you have no idea what you're doing and you're just kind of curious about like what some of the best teams are, well, they kind of show you. Now, it doesn't tell you everything. It just tells you the lineup, but you know, that can kind of give you a good starting point. And then there's also the hero report, which is some of the top characters that are used. And I think they do top 15 characters. So pretty interesting as well. There's a lot of good quality of life features in Awaken Chaos Era that makes me really happy about playing this, because there's like, you know, I haven't played Raid Shadow Legends, you know, but I heard that there's a lot of aspects that are in this that are like Raid, but this takes everything and makes everything else like way better. And that's what I really love about playing this game. As far as my roster goes, like I said, I have 4 level 60s. These are kind of like my main campaign characters that I've been using almost since the beginning. But Hydrisia, Hakron, Connor is part of my 60. He is one of the best elite support characters, elite rarity rather, support characters, alongside Rodira, who is also a wood-based elite rarity support character. So these two are some of the easier to obtain best support characters in my opinion, and I'll be doing a separate video, I think, when it comes to actual characters that I've been using in my roster, because I was starting to think, well, how am I going to do content for this game? You know, I'm not a huge whale, I'm not a kraken, but I do want to, you know, kind of share my thoughts on this game because I really enjoy playing this, and I kind of want to, like, I want that to come out for you all. And so I think the best way to do is probably just kind of share some of the stuff relating to the characters that I have that I've been using that works really well for me. Now, this may not work for everyone because obviously people's pulls are going to be different, but nonetheless, you know, like, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and hopefully maybe some of the advice that I can share will help some of you in sort of a more free-to-play journey, because for me, you know, I'm not spending a lot of money on this. I'm not a huge whale kraken. Like I said, I was lucky I did end up getting the legendary Garrel. Zatlix is another huge, super strong character that I've been using. He is level 60 as well. So I have 4 level 60s, but I'm waiting for that hero promotion event that starts tonight for me to actually do more of them. Other characters I'm looking to get to 60 pretty soon is Natalia. Very powerful water mage AoE that I'm looking to build up as well. Jacob, single target fire damage that I've been looking to build up too. I use him for quite a bit of my wood boss type content. Rodira probably also needs level 60 because I use her on Queen of Tides. And Auroch. He is a kind of a little bit easier to obtain character, single target-ish. Fire DPS as well. So those are kind of the characters that, oh, and Santis, of course, because she's really popular in what's called the poison build teams. However, I don't really have a huge, I don't have Gangelo, one of the most important characters in those poison teams. He's like a big fat vampire bat looking guy, wood legendary that also does poisons as well. And but you can kind of make a weird kind of poison team around other characters that I'm not really using at this time. I forget this guy here, Valak. So if you want to build Valak up really high, he is using Hero Synthesis though for Hakarin or Santis, one of the two, which is why I don't really have him built pretty high. There are a handful of really good elite characters, though, including Mary, who is usable as a light sort of cleanser on certain fights as well. So there are some good ones here if you want to build them. They're really easy to get through just generic drawing as well. So elite characters are really easy to red star up or ascension. You know, if you're coming from Marvel Strike Force, it's essentially red stars. But yeah, you need to have additional dupes of the character in order to do that. And so I have a lot of these epics, though, that aren't really all that good. I have like 4 copies of Myla. I have like 4 copies of this Helmar. And you can see I do have a handful of copies of other characters that aren't really that good, or I've been told that not really worth your resources. So I'm having a lot of fun because as a hero collector, I love hero collectors, and I love just sort of seeing all these characters and what they can and can't do. And the best part about Awaken Chaos Era, before I end the video, is that you can do a lot of things in this game with whatever you want, really. Like there's a lot of flexibility in terms of, you know, what the character kits can do. You know, there's a handful of characters that can do similar things. They may not necessarily be as good as one another, but there's a lot, you know, you don't need one team to kill one boss. There's lots of ways that you can do things, and I think that's why I like this game so much. There's a lot of theory crafting behind this game, you know, and I really enjoy the hero collector aspect, that there's something for everyone. There's 5 different element types. There's lots of ways you can customize your character. A lot of it actually, admittedly, is through gear, and that might turn some people off, but the static upgrades are the glyph upgrades, which you can farm in the campaign. Ability material upgrade, which is pretty static as well, but gear is where it's really going to matter, and I know it's a little bit overwhelming for some. There's like a gear management button, and it kind of brings up all your different gear. There's a bunch of different gear sets here, and you know, we'll get into that in time, but I just kind of want to do a very quick overview into my roster, my gameplay, what I'm doing right now, and how I'm really enjoying this game still. So that's really all there is. This is kind of like a second impressions video, more or less, but yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I really like Awaken Chaos Era. It has a very reasonable season pass. I just want to end with this here, that it is only $10 US, so screw Marvel Strike Force for having 2 different season passes for $20 US each. So go fuck yourself, Marvel Strike Force. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the fact that, you know, I actually don't feel bad about spending $10 US on this season pass, because I'm actually showing my support to that company. And you know, not everyone needs to do that, but it has pretty decent value because you do get a legendary character here. I know my head's in the way once again. That's Hydrissia. that's one of the characters that I already have. Let's move back over here. And so you do get a legendary character as a result of the Season Pass too. So just wanted to let you guys know what's going on with me with Awaken Chaos Era. I do, for the record, have 5 open spots in my guild. It's called the Boiloners, by the way. I forgot to mention this. So if there is any of you who are interested in playing Awaken Chaos Era, who are already playing and looking for a guild, please join up on my Discord channel and get a hold of me that way, because I know who you are. I just don't want complete strangers or randos. I mean, if I don't know you, that's still fine. Just please, join the Discord channel so we can kind of figure out who's who. So that's everything for this video. Hopefully we'll have some more Awaken Chaos Era videos soon, or ACE videos for short. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.